Thank you. Pleasure to be here. I want to tell you about this, all you need to know about transformation in FM in the digital age. That's actually what we promise you if you read our book, Facility Management as a Digital Change Agent. We have in the Danish Facility Management Association have this digitalization group where we look into how we do this. All you need to know, that's actually pretty much. But we have taken the traditional FM disciplines and kind of had the experts, which you actually can meet some of them upstairs later on. So they are also here. So I'll just tell you a bit about how I see it and then use some of the stuff that the expert has written in the book. So some of it is mine and some of it are the experts. So you have to read the book to figure out which is mine and which are the experts. We have also built a cost-free digital universe where you can find both the book it's written in English as well. It will be translated to Spanish also someday, we hope. We have had the pleasure of getting some fundings from a Danish fund, Realdania, who supported us so we could get this could be possible to write this book. A book, it was kind of funny thing, why should we write a book, something as undigital as a book about something digital? But in our sense, it made sense to put it down there, get it easy accessible to everyone. You can take it, you can read just one chapter, figure out what it is to you, or you can read the whole from one end. And the good thing is also that the speed of change that is now higher than ever. We have heard a lot about that in these days. It's also good for us because some of the points that we have in the book, they may be obsolete very fast, but it also has the fact that maybe things have already changed. So what was not possible, people have tried it, we have done that, it didn't work, it may be possible today. So you just go and try it, and maybe it will work for you now. The FM is not just changing what we can do, it's also changing a lot of what we are expected to do. Expectation from all around us, all our peers, all our managers, families at home, they also want to know why we're here. They want to be in contact with us. Everything is changing. We are also talking about should we change the name of facility management or facilities management. I'll not go into that discussion, but one thing I'm certain is that we're making people the why of FM. That was also in the ISO definitions. But we need to talk more about people. We need to get the value of all this digitalization to be more about the people. We build all these buildings, we put stuff in them, lots of technical equipment, I can do all kinds of things, but we do it for the people in there, not for the equipment, because that's not FM stuff. So put people more in focus. That will help us being relevant to get to talk to our managers, and we have to change the conversation from all of these bits and bytes and HVAC and CAFM to a people language of coffee maybe and execution and people's behavior, which we've also been discussing. It's much more interesting, it's much more relevant that we change that. We have to change from the CFO cost talk to the HR value talk. Instead, that would give us a lot better input on that. Digitalization can help us with getting lots of knowledge, and it will help us with a single truth that we can give access to lots of people. You can look at it with all our different knowledge, and we'll see different things, and that is the good thing. That it's your knowledge, it's our way of looking at them that will give us our input. And then when we start talking to the other people, then we'll gain more knowledge. We can, when we start to collect these data, make sure that we have the right data, that they are correct. That's our responsibility. But we have to figure out which kind of data do we want to collect, and how much do we need to collect. It also depends on your maturity level of your company. At your first level is data establishing, or are you at the fourth level of strategy and integrated process supporting? And at which level do you need to be? That depends on your company and what processes are best digitalized, or are they better not? You have to figure that out before you need to figure out what level should you be at. Yeah, this is a good one. I love this slide because this is all you need to know. You need to know all these things. There are so many buzzwords in digitalization, so many things that you have to know. I don't expect you to read any of this. It's just an indication of what you have to figure out. Who knows what? What data can we collect? So we have to know all of these things. We have to have the knowledge about all these possible informations that we can get, and then figure out how we use them best. That's not an easy task. That's a difficult task, but that's required of us. But we'd have to figure out some way what is accessible, who owns what data, who else in our organization has access to data. There are lots of them who has other data than we do, but if we combine them with our data, then we gain new knowledge. And another thing that we have been discussing is that we are left out of the boardroom as EFMCs. And why are we that? I think that's because we're not good enough at talking about our values. We have to align with the company. We talk a lot about FM is the same, but it's not. It's very different from company to company. It depends on what your purpose is. As you mentioned, then if you're a hospital, it's different from if you're a municipality or you're an office. You have your purpose. You need to adjust to that of how you deliver the value. Could your value be to attract customers? Could we do processes cheaper or better to gain more customers? Or should we focus on the people of our organization or the people that are our customers? Who should we focus on? That depends. That's why it's different. A lot of the disciplines are the same, but where we get the real value to our company is that we adjust it there. And when we have the digitalization, that will give us another benefit that we can prove what we are saying. It's not just our gut feeling about, I think this, I think that. That's good with all of these scientists here that give us some knowledge, so we move away from lots of gut feelings, because all our CEOs also do a lot of facility management at their own home, so they think they know all about it, so they have a gut feeling. But we can use the data to prove that we are right, instead of just say, I think so, I feel so, then we are right. That's where we can really use the data here to support our gut feeling. We need the gut feeling to figure out how to do things, but we can support the gut feeling by the data. One thing about data is that we often are very good at looking in the mirror. Collected all these data about what happened yesterday and last year and 10 years ago, and we get a lot of knowledge about that. And that's good, because that will give us, we'll know lots of things. We can make great reports about what has happened. The problem is that, again, when talking to our executives, they want to make strategies about what's going on tomorrow, or in 1 year, or in 5 years. So we have to start looking more out of the front window instead of in the mirror. And that's difficult. That's very difficult. But we need to do that. We need to use that knowledge, get all that information, all our real-time information, to build up ideas of what will happen in the future. That's when we can deliver real value, if we can say, this is what we need to do to not be obsolete. But to look into those data, we again have to spend the time on the data, understanding them, talk to all kinds of people in our organization, people that we're not used to talk to. We should also discuss this with. How do they see these data? What kind of data do they have? What can we attract from the data with? Do we see more people working from home at the same time as we have more internal meeting? Maybe at the same time people are not satisfied with the food in the canteen. What can we do with these knowledge? What can that bring us, so we understand that? Another area I think is very, very important that we have a huge impact on in facilities management is the UN SDG, the Sustainable Development Goals. I think it's been an interesting and very, very good work that has been done here. It's helped a lot with the communication of what we need to do in order to be sustainable. But as facility managers, we can deliver on so many of these here. We can make sure that we have no food waste in the canteen. We can create a great indoor climate. We can make sure that we don't waste potable water, or we maybe use clean energy in our buildings, or we support the infrastructure of our community. Maybe we open up some of our premises to the public. We can ensure that we procure the right products, the sustainable products, so that will be the ones that will be delivered on. We can ensure that we don't waste greenhouse gases. We can purchase the correct food again. And the most important actually sometimes is that we have to partner up for these things. We can do this. This is 11 goals that are so easily, that we take care of a lot of them. And we own a lot of the data about these things. So again, there we can be relevant to our executives with having the right data for this. By showing our executives and the rest of our company what is it that we are doing, how should we do it, how are we progressing. So we have lots of ownership within this. A problem is that we sometimes have to choose a lot of these things and say, what is more sustainable than the other? In my opinion, to be long-lasting sustainable, you have to look at these 3 Ps. With the people, the planet, and the profit, all of them has to be fulfilled to be real sustainable. Actually, it's pretty simple because you can just score each of these things, and then you would have a sustainability index. If you add them up, that's pretty simple, right? Maybe not, but it could be. And we should support people in making to be simple to be sustainable. And in order to do that, we have to focus on these things. And then we have to update our data because things change again so fast. So what was sustainable last year or last week may not be it anymore. So we have to update these data. We can't say that because it was true last year, it's still true. So a lot of these things that we used to know are not correct anymore. That's the problem with this. So we have to update our data all the time. We have to set up structures for this. How do we ensure that we update our data so we can deliver the right information to our colleagues so they can take the right choice, make the sustainable choice the easy choice. Just to summarize a bit of this, then I recently received a great advice about how could we get any further on this. Thing is, be curious, know what is possible, and then convert it to fit into your company. How would it work at your home? So that's a good thing to do this year. And build up a partner for the competences. Actually, a great thing about digitalization is that we have gain a lot easier access to competences that we just need for a while. We see huge change in that. People are so many contingency workers that are in our company just for a short while. How do we can use their knowledge, and then get started. Sense making is retrospective. We need to act to know how it works. So we just need to get started and get things done. Then we can adjust and say we don't have to build it perfect the first time. That's also good, but we don't build bridges. It has to be perfect the first time. We don't need to be perfect the first time. And one thing you also can do to get started is reading the book. That will give you lots of information. And then a conference like this is all about being curious and know the opportunities. And it's building partnerships, getting to know people. So you have 2 out of 3 right here. So after that, just go home and get started. Thank you very much.